Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to discuss about a widely discussed topic in the American media. Yeah, this topic, when I pronounce its name, you know, it is just about a piece of metal for some. For some, it sends down a shiver. So today's topic is all about guns in America, gun control, the gun laws, and why there is so much of discussion about gun control in America, and the hypocrisy that exists while discussing about gun control. While talking about guns, why do we need guns actually? Who needs a gun? What's the purpose of guns actually? So some use guns for hunting on a day-to-day basis. Some use it as a recreational purpose, either for hunting, or it could be for target shooting, or just their time pass, just like how people play golf every week. They might end up doing some target practices using guns. Then the police use guns, the armed forces, they use guns, and there are dudes who use guns to vent out their stress. One fine day they decide that, okay, enough is enough. I just want to vent out my stress, and they go bam, bam, bam. Okay, and that's sad. And it's not about the gun they use; it's about the mind that uses the gun actually. So this is how we use guns. For some, they don't use guns; they just buy a gun. They would like to hang it on the wall, as a decorative element, you know. So that's how guns are used. But in America, you know, things have been changing now, strict laws about buying guns. And there are folks who argue that, guns are very much necessary, especially with regard to the Second Amendment. And, just to protect them. Yeah, I totally agree with that, because a dude living in a far off place, who doesn't have much neighbors actually, who's not living in a city, he has to have some kind of protection actually. You can't send a police officer to each and every home. It's not possible actually. And these are days where the police population, the government, some of the governments, they tend to reduce them actually, so it's not possible. So yes, I do understand their cause too. At the same time, there are people who have been raised, not knowing the very smell of guns. Actually, for them, guns is like a serious thing. Actually, yes, they want to stay away from the gun, and I do understand their perspective also of guns. But when you talk about guns, either you should control them, or you should go into a free mode where everyone can purchase a gun, and based on their mindset and their background. Yeah, I totally understand. Yeah, background checks are very important, but what is the American government doing right now, especially with regard to what's happening within America and what's happening outside America? How does their role change actually, and the way of looking at guns in America differs from the way they look at guns when it is exported to other countries? Yeah, they bring a lot of restrictions, yes, and some of the folks in the government, it's based on it's party wise actually, and based on the party that they are, they're against guns and gun laws. I'm sorry, not against gun laws. They're against guns actually, and they're against purchase of guns. They ask, why do you need so much weapons and guns and all these stuffs? Okay, yeah. So they bring in strict laws. Okay, good. Okay, they want to control, guns getting into the wrong hands. Yes, of course, it is not the guns that matter. It's the mind that operates the gun that matters, because what purpose you use the guns for matters. Basically depends on the mind that uses it. Yeah, as I told you, we use guns for various purposes. So recently, the American government had spent billions of dollars in sending weapons to Ukraine. Yep, I totally understand. Ukraine is a tiny bit of, a tiny bit of thing in front of Russia. Russia's huge. It's got a huge potential, just like the US. They have a huge potential. They have a huge background when it comes to weapons and arms. Yeah, America wants to support the weaker one. Yes, I totally understand. And billions of weapons, as billions of dollars have been spent for the weapons sent to Ukraine. Yeah, I totally get it. You want to protect the weaker one. Okay, but why not use the same mentality when it comes to the residents in US? Yes, the people in US also, some of them, the weaker section, the people who want to protect themselves, especially with regard to the Second Amendment. Why don't you allow them to use guns? Why is it that you bring so much of restrictions? Why do you unsettle them, by these gun laws and discussions? Now, sending, how safe is it to send weapons to Ukraine? Now, everyone, most of us, we know that, after the disintegration of erstwhile USSR, there was a huge, illegal arms trade. Everything got out of control. All the weapons and arms possessed by the USSR were traded, and got into the wrong hands too. So, what guarantee is there that the weapons sent to Ukraine is safe, is used for the right purpose, it doesn't get into the wrong hands? When there is so much of a regulation failure in America, how can America expect that Ukraine laws and regulations are well above, that the guns don't reach the wrong hands, or the wrong people, the wrong folks? Right now there's so much of confusion, you know a state of uncertainty in Ukraine. And why would you send so much of guns, ammunitions, arms to Ukraine? It just doesn't destabilize Ukraine alone. It could destabilize the entire world too, based on where the guns reach. Guns could reach anyone. What if the guns reach an arms dealer? He can sell it to anyone. So why is this hypocrisy? When it comes to comparing the situation, yes, you are sending, you're protecting a weaker one against a tough one, actually, when it comes to world politics, but you don't want to do the same in America, where people want to fight for their Second Amendment. Now, I'm not talking about, I'm not for guns or against guns, actually. It's just that I just want to understand the hypocrisy that exists. The hypocrisy that exists when it comes to, lawmakers who bring certain laws to control guns. Of course, background checks are very important. Yes, of course, as I said, the guns shouldn't reach the wrong hands. But what are the other measures that the government takes, actually? And why is that so much hue and cry, actually, about when you talk about gun laws? Actually, you have the gun, the gun group, and their outcry regarding, why guns should be stolen from them or taken from them, actually. And you have another set of folks, like who say that guns are dangerous. Of course, why do you need a gun actually? But the question arises, like, if is it possible to give protection to each and every individual in America? Yes, of course, the lawmakers, they have their own protection through security, around them. But as an individual in America, what protection does he get? There are incidents like, we have some good incidents that have happened with guns, and there are some bad incidents that have happened with guns in America. There have been incidents where a dude, like, he goes out of his mind to end distress. Of course, that's basically on the mindset that he's in the problems that he is in. Actually, he goes out there and he goes bam, bam, bam. He kills a few people. Sometimes it's so large, like, it was large. Back in a few years back, there was incidents where 40 people were killed. 30 people were killed. Nowadays it's like 3 to 4. Yeah, the numbers are reduced, but still, the 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 number of incidents have increased. Although the people who are killed, in one particular incident, have reduced. It's not in huge numbers, actually, not large. Actually, it has come down, but the incidents have increased. Every now and then you see, like, a dude goes out there, and he just wants to vent his stress out. Like, he wants to take his problems on the people, and some of them are really innocents. Children also get involved in gun violence, and there are cities which are crippled by gun violence. And is it about gun control? No, it's about the people using those guns actually in those cities. What is their background? How did they get guns actually? And if one is a criminal, he can use 101 ways to get a gun illegally. Maybe legally there are so many laws to buy a gun, but illegally you don't need a law to buy a gun. You just need to find a way, and crooks can easily find that way. On the other hand, like, guns are used for protection also. Like, the police officers, they use guns for protection. And there are there are people, like, there are incidents where maybe an armed robber or an armed person was trying to take advantage of a situation, and there is a good Samaritan who's able to save the day because he had a gun with him. So where do we go about, like, see, there's something called, like, what goes around comes around actually. So when you are in a mental state to export guns, create an armed rebellion, or like, create so much of unrest outside the United States by exporting guns, by manufacturing guns, by all these arms and ammunitions that you manufacture, you produce in America. How come you, who run America, expect peace in America through guns? No, this is the hypocrisy that exists actually. You want to manufacture guns, you want to build arms and ammunitions. At the same time, you expect peace to be in America. How is that possible? In what way is it right? Either you have strict laws, of course, you can protect yourself. Every country needs to protect itself. Like, America is like, it doesn't have borders like India and Pakistan, or like, Palestine and Israel, or you can take North Korea and South Korea. There are many examples out there. America doesn't have. It's just that, yeah, some of the illegal immigrants, they walk in, yes, but you don't need guns to, guns and weapons to, protect in America from them. Actually, it's a civil issue. Yeah, at times it gets criminal too. But think about the borders. Some of the countries have, even if it is quiet among the border, one fine day, like the dude in the border, he thinks that, oh, why is it so quiet actually? Yeah, it shouldn't be so quiet. So he fires two in the air. And then from the opposition, the opponent side, yeah, someone has fired. Let me also fire two in the, and sometimes two in the air. And sometimes it gets escalated. And sometimes it goes out of hand. Battles are fought. So America is not in that position. It is safe by many means. Even during World War II, mainland America was so safe. Only apart from the Pearl Harbor incident, America was totally safe. And today also, America is safe. Mostly safe. Of course, there have been incidents like 9/11, then internal terrorism. But talking about guns, why is there a double standard? You want to control guns in America, good. But why do you want to end up exporting, you know, lots of guns and ammunitions, especially to a country like Ukraine, where there is turmoil? Why can't, when you think about peace, and when you think about, controlling guns, and when you think about solving things the easy way in America, why can't you do the same when it comes to the countries that America has policy? This is weird policing actually by America. Double standards. You know, once upon a time, America is like, it's one of the favored nations. People look at America like, it's like some God given force that has come to give us all the good things actually. But today, you know, America is all about, poking its nose into everyone's problems and doing the policing work wherever. And it's just that they poke their nose wherever there is, some kind of economic advantage, wherever there is some kind of economic, relief for America based on their interference. Some of the countries in Africa, they have burning problems like terrorism. The girls have been impregnated in some of the countries, and they've sent back these guys. Once in a while, they get so, um, you know, you know, they got so tipsy, and things, they were, always sitting with seeing men and only with guns and things like that. They just want to vent out stress. And how do they want to vent out stress? It's just go, bring a woman. They kidnap them, girls, school girls, keep them for 3 months, impregnate them, and send them back. How sad that is. And what has America done? What about the women's activists in America? They only focus on America? Do only American women matter? Okay, getting back to guns. So this is the hypocrisy that exists in America. You want to control guns, you want to control how it is regulated in America, but you don't want to control how guns are regulated outside America. Billions of taxpayers' money is spent on exporting guns to countries where guns shouldn't be exported. Guns and ammunitions and weapons should not be exported because it can get into the wrong hands, and it can even be used against the US too. What guarantee is there that these guns sent to Ukraine or elsewhere are used for the right purpose? So this is the hypocrisy that exists when it comes to guns. When you think about protection, just one thing actually. When you want to protect people, okay, you send guns and ammunitions to protect people. I understand. You want to save the weaker one. Why not do the same in America too? Why is there so much hue and cry when you talk about guns? It's not just a life of a politician, a life of a lawmaker, a life of someone who has status in America. That is very important. Other lives too matter. A person could be a father, a person could be a mother, a person could be a brother, a person could be a sister out there. It's all about relationships and how the relationship matter to every individual. So loss of one relationship also matters. It can make people go out of their way. It totally shatters them. So it's not just the lives of people who have status that matters. Every individual's life matters. You talk about regulations, you talk about gun laws in America. Why not sit and talk about the differences wherever it is, whether it's between Russia and Ukraine, whether it's between North Korea and South Korea, whether it is between any country, wherever and US is poking their nose, wherever the US is interfering. You don't see such incidents happening, like shooting incidents happening in NATO countries. It's only in America. It's like a curse. So why is that? What can be done to lift this curse? You don't. It is an American problem. Yes, of course, it's an American problem. But as I said, what goes around comes around. Talks matter, and it is all about the leadership, what they think, the leadership team, what they think, what policies they want to bring, into what pressure they are into actually from different sections of the society. Some want to control guns. The people who want to control guns, who want guns not to be just sold anywhere or to anyone, there are lawmakers or there are public office holders who think that guns shouldn't go to each and every person's hand. Yeah, I totally understand that. I totally understand your point. But what guarantee is there that guns are secure even among your security personnel? There are incidents around the world where where a person of status, like it could be anyone, it could be an opposition leader or a prime minister who has been shot by their own security. So as I said, it's not the gun that is a problem, it's the mind that uses the gun that's the problem. And of course, background checks are very important. They are going to do a lot when it comes to getting guns to the right hand or the right person. I totally understand that. But why not use the same when you export guns? When you send huge ammunitions, huge weapons, spending billions of dollars. Why not use the same strategy? Why you have a double standard when it comes to America and when it comes to something outside America, an issue outside America? This is not fair. So people think about it. And with the 2024 elections coming up, we need to get someone out there who can, see the disparities that exist in America, the differentiations that exist in America, and bring all of us together. 2024 elections are going to be very, very important in the history of America. It's not that America is divided right at this point of time. No, America has been divided previously on various, and they have come united again after, a period of time actually of differentiation and battles. So this time around also we need one person. Who's that one person who could unite America, who could take decisions on a rational way, without double standards, without disparity? It could be anyone from any party. It could be a Republican or a Democrat. It should be someone who should be liked by the majority. When you talk about majority, it's just not 51%. No. It's about at least 75% of the people who vote should like that person. So that he brings in harmony in America. If this continues, then we could simply consider that we are looking at the downward movement of America from its apex place of glory. We don't want that to happen. Does anyone in America want that to happen? No. They want America to prevail through this period of time where there is so much of disintegrity. Said that, I would like to close this audio, and I thank all of you all who liked my talk, and I thank all of them who took time. But also, although you had your own differences, you couldn't agree with my talk. I totally understand you, but time is very important, and I thank you for taking the time to listen to what I was discussing, or to what I was bringing out. Anyways, thank you. Have a wonderful day, and until my next audio, see you. Take care.